Hey Leaguer, Sinister Specs here. I'm going to bring you a guide on how to play Darius like a god. Um, Darius is one of my favorite champions. He really rewards my personal play style. He is just meant to be aggressive. He is meant to take the offense. That's just one of the games that I've played with him. This is just my general item build. It's all situational, as you'll see throughout the video. This is kind of just a general cookie cutter build that you want to focus on with Darius. He is a very strong snowballer. He is a very strong ganker, I would say. I wouldn't call him an assassin because he doesn't have that super kill potential, but he has that awesome dunk. So if you start chaining that, it's going to be very dangerous. I did start the recording of this video a little bit late because I realized after my first kill on Teemo here, I had forgot to press my play button and start the video. But I got a lot of information to cover with Darius here today, so I hope you guys find this information useful and find some of the tips and tricks that I've discovered with Darius included in this guide to be helpful in your endeavor to play Darius like a god. The first skill that you want to rush is Decimate. The second skill that you're going to take at level 2 is your E Apprehend. Your third skill and your second rush is going to be your W, Crippling Strike. Your general skill order is going to be Q, E, W, Q, 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 R, Q, Q, W, all and so on and so forth. So I hope you guys get that little confusing tidbit. But I'm gonna go ahead and cover the runes real quick while I'm running back. This is the rune page that I use: 80 Quints, 80 Marks, Armor Seals, and flat magic resistance glyphs. Now Darius, as you can tell, has some great harassment with his Decimate. Use that to your advantage. Teemo, I have a big early advantage on Teemo, so I'm going to start exercising that. I'm about to pick up level 5, so I'm going to let my minions pick me up that extra level, and that'll help me smoke Teemo here real quick. Use this grass, especially against ranged champions. I didn't backstep like you should with Darius, and I'll review that right after I show you that I completely own Teemo with a Decimate right there. But Decimate's range, it does more damage the farther they are away from you. So you want them to be far away when you Decimate. When you Apprehend, I would recommend either backstepping or just letting your auto attack hit them once or twice. I like to backstep, especially if I know it's like a rather more tanky champion that's gonna try and stand there and fight with me. Another thing I'd like to emphasize is health pots. Always carry health potions with you as Darius. Especially when you start snowballing, you're going to be taking a lot of heat from the jungler. In this specific video, it's not really included because just their jungler wasn't really all that great, and he didn't come out to challenge me too much. So I do have a big advantage on Teemo early. I'm level 7, he's a level 5, level 4 rather. I've got 32 CS. I'm gonna start using this grass to surprise him. I notice he's not coming back. I'm not in his view, so I'm gonna come to the edge of this grass, flash in, Apprehend, and dunk. That's a classic Darius kill. Use surprise, especially on ranged champions, to your advantage, especially if they're not warding grass, especially if they're not skill shotting it, especially if you check out my ADC guide on Jinx. You'll notice that I skill shot grass constantly. It's just so needed to be a little bit careful, especially if you got a champion like Volibear in your matchup, because he tends to like that grass to jump you, fear you, and otherwise punish you into oblivion. This is a pretty standard game for Darius. I'm focusing just as much on CS as I am killing Teemo, because this will help me get that gold advantage. One thing that you can do with Darius, especially once you get Tiamat, which is the first item that you should be completing, is you can actually, while your minions attack the tower, run behind it and kill the incoming creep wave. Just because that helps you A, build some CS, and B, it allows your minions to do that damage for you. And it's just really a good way to start pushing those towers early. Darius is a great split pusher, and you want to use that to your advantage. And you'll see later in the guide that it's just a really effective way to play Darius, especially if the other lanes in your team are going well. Check out this Q range. It can reach over walls, especially small walls like the base walls, these little forest areas here in the jungle. So always be trying to loop around and pull champions away from the fight and focus them down solo. Now champions that have splits like LeBlanc, try and get in and ignite him, because that ignite is going to show that which one the player actually is. Kind of like Shaco's split. When he splits, if he's got like red or blue buff, the actual Shaco is the one with the buff underneath him. Just for those guys that don't know that. I know a little bit more, the more experienced players are going to laugh and be like, why is he including that in his guide? Well, you know what? Not everyone is as good as you, bro. Alright, now that the toxicity is out of the way, Teemo's going to come back, and this is just a good way to explain that Darius has limitations, especially his mana. He's a little bit mana reliant early game, so you don't want to be spamming that decimate too much. But once you start building like Tiamat and get some health on you, you can just start sitting there and auto attacking the creep waves. Another big thing about Darius is map awareness. A lot of players don't really do this in low ELO, and that really holds them back. You got to be conscious of where their junglers are. You got to be conscious of where their sup is. You got to be conscious about how all your lanes are going, because that's going to determine whether or not they're going to start roaming you. And it gets very dangerous when Darius starts getting roamed. Now, at this point, I've got 62 CS. I've got my Tiamat, Giant's Belt. Look at that E range. That's just incredible. I love this champion. And I've got my speed boots. This is a pretty standard build order for Darius. That Giant's Belt is going to build into Randuin's Omen, and that's one of the greatest items that you can have on Darius because it helps you chase down enemy champions. So we're going to set up a sweet kind of tower dive on the enemy champion. No, we were not in TS, we just decided to do that. Now, Yi is kind of one of those champions that likes to come in for those cleanup kills. Don't let him. Hit him with your max range decimate, and he's going to rethink charging you. Zone him out, wait for him to commit to kind of like a side of the lane, like he does right here. I'm going to come down, apprehend, do my little poke combo. I almost got my W off on him, which would have kind of sealed the deal on Master Yi there. But he does back off, and I'm able to go back and recall, so I can get back to building. Now, a lot of people, like I said earlier, overextend with Darius, and that in turn turns into feed for the enemy team. Always be recalling and always be building. That's what makes Darius snowball so effectively is items. He scales really well with items. He's not a champion that you can stay out for 10 minutes at a time with. He doesn't have good regen stats, so you want to be kind of popping back and forth. Once you get Hydra, he has got a lot better sustainment. But notice I'm checking in on these other lanes. I haven't seen their jungler yet. I don't know really where he is. This is just a blind pick match, so he could have DC'd. But anyways, that's not important right now. What's important is explaining Darius. So I see Fiddle down here in trouble, but he's gonna kill Syndra. I'm more worried about Teemo trying to sneak up on him. Had I gone right down river, I probably would have been able to flash in and apprehend. So it's very important that you are aware of the route that you're taking, because that's just gonna turn into you getting a kill or not. But Teemo does come out and make a very dumb move, and he goes back to mid lane. I fail flash, which really screws me in chasing him, but he does reappear down here with Sona. Because I built that MR, his mushroom's not going to do anything to me. It's going to make that kill extra easy, and it's going to make this upcoming double kill even easier, because Vigor's already burned his stun. I know he doesn't have much capability without that, because he's super squishy. Ez is going to chase Sona, which is a really bad idea, because I'm just going to stack my bleeds and crush him with my ult. So I'm going to max range decimate right there, pull off my W on that ulted her just a tad bit early. If I'd gotten that extra auto attack in, I probably would have killed her, but that's okay, because I'm going to sit here and occupy this lane a little bit. Fiddlesticks doesn't understand that I want to face take that turret shot just to make Syndra come back, but she doesn't. So I'm going to just go here, pick up some CS kills, get some more gold. My team is doing very well right now. I'm 8-0-1. I'm helping to snowball lanes. I've got great map presence at the moment. I'm leveling up quickly and building items even faster. So I'm going to go ahead and build this Spectre's Cowl right now for that extra MR, and build a Vamp Scepter. A lot of players will argue that Darius needs to build offensive over defensive. I argue that if you can't stay alive enough to chase and do the damage that Darius is designed to do, then how are you going to last in team fights and help take down those enemy champions, which is really what Darius is out there to do, is just bruise, batter, and brawl. So once again, I'm checking my lanes. I'm constantly being aware of how fights are going, because that's going to determine how far I push into this tower. So I'm going to start barreling down on the enemy tier 2 top tower, and I'm going to take this moment to help emphasize that Darius, his split pushing makes him very dangerous. He's kind of like the ADC carry. When they start split pushing, it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And another thing is, this helps set up big kills for Darius, because this is probably his most effective spot right here, is just sitting here face tanking stuff and just waiting for that moment, and it's about to come right here because I've killed all the creeps. I'm gonna go ahead and nuke up Teemo real quick. I've done enough damage to him that he really doesn't have that opportunity. Now if I did not build MR right there, I would have died. I want to emphasize that. Defensive stats increase Darius's longevity, which makes him last longer, which means more dunks, which means pentakill. Pentakill. So once again, I'm checking the map. I'm going to make sure that I know what's going on with my team. I'm going to select the best route to play my champion effectively. Now, Darius, in mid-game, you want to be split pushing as hard as you can. Especially if your team is clearing out that lane for you, like what's about to happen right here. I think I'm going to get there quick enough so I can chase down Yi, but I don't, which is perfectly okay with me. So I'm just going to go back to that top lane, start pushing that wave, and I'm going to watch Teemo down here, who's pretty much ineffective at this point. Now, once Darius snowballs, the enemy champions just... whoever was in your lane becomes meaningless to the game for a good while, which gives your team even more of an advantage. So keep that in mind when you're playing Darius. Split push hard mid-game, break those towers down, create opportunities in the late game for your team to push and open those inhibitors. But right now our team is doing just phenomenally well. I'm going to try and loop around here. I do see Master Yi, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of harass him a little bit. I'm going to drop my totem there because that's going to give me some vision and help me see if he floats back over. So I'm going to start killing this creep wave because this is Darius's prime time, front row seat, buy tickets for this dunk sesh. This is his moment. Make yourself a target here, especially when you're fed and you're built up and you got some great stats and defensive capabilities, because they're gonna send a champion or two to come get you. And I've gotten so many doubles and triple kills just sitting here on this doorstep, doing my work, making people chase me back, fight me, like Syndra's about to do right here. She's gonna chase. I want to get away from that creep wave because it's gonna increase Syndra LeBlanc's DPS. So I drop a sweet ult on her and dunk it for the victory. Keep in mind that ult has a 20-second post-kill availability, meaning, in layman's terms, for 20 seconds after you kill someone with your ult and dunk them hard and make freaking Michael Jordan jealous, you have 20 seconds to use it again, and that's a long time, especially if someone's chasing you. So get away from that creep wave. Create that opportunity to get a quick, easy kill, but don't overextend. Don't get overconfident. Start building up. Build to the enemy's strengths, especially defensively. So I'm gonna go up, pick up some CC because Timo has some good CC. LeBlanc has some decent CC. But right here, this is also a great moment for Darius' cleanup duty. Much like Master Yi, if your team's working down the enemy pretty well, you're going to be able to pick up some good kills. So make yourself, once again, make yourself present and aware of what's going on, and make the other team think that you're doing something. It's kind of like playing chess. Make them think that you're doing something you're not. So it makes it look like I'm just kind of creep killing right there, but I see them on the map, the season's opportunity to just nuke Syndra. I keep saying Syndra. Nuke LeBlanc. And now I'm gonna sit here, occupy this lane. Ez is gonna run because he is scared, and Quinn and I, with the aid of Sona, is going to push this tower and open up mid lane. Now we are now on tier 3 top and mid and bot. So that creates a great opportunity for Darius' split pushing power. I'm going to kind of hang around here for a minute. This is kind of a disputable move, but I'm, in this video, getting a little bit aggressive, more aggressive than I should be with Darius. But I do have enough MR to resist Vigor's massive burst damage. So I'm going to try and be real quick, but that's not going to work out. So I decide that if Sona wants to get out of there, help her run, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna try and split up the enemy team so I can pick one or two off and get a double kill, which doesn't happen. My apprehend trick doesn't really work there because they're too far away from it. Now Darius, he's not I would say the best tank. He's not better than Blitzcrank, and he's not better than Thresh at being tanky, but one of the key things is just having lane presence with Darius. Lane presence makes all the difference for your team. Now the enemy is about to surrender 5-0. Not sure where the 5th is. I think he gave up a long time ago, but I'm 12-0-2, which really demonstrates Darius. Darius is a heavy snowballer, a great split pusher, and keep in mind that those little that little doorstep on the right in the enemy's base is just a prime time location for Darius to start picking up kills with, especially when he apprehends, because the enemy champion is going to try and run back into that tower and take shelter, which isn't going to be possible because you're just going to pull them back in and keep stacking those bleeds and eventually dunk him. Now notice on all these score charts that Darius just does massive amounts of damage. 12 kills have done 80k damage. From all that snowballing, I've helped to increase my gold advantage. My defensive stats kept me alive. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning into this guide. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys.